You're standing outside Barclays at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, holding a stack of documents that took you 3 weeks to collect, only to be told, "Sorry, we can't open an account for you today." That moment of pure panic? When you realize you can't get paid, can't rent a flat, can't even get a phone contract, because nobody ever explained how UK banking actually works? I lived that nightmare for 6 months. What I discovered next changed everything. If you're watching this, you know that sinking feeling. Maybe you've been here for years but still feel like you're playing financial hide and seek. Or maybe you just arrived and everyone assumes you already know the secret handshake. Every article online reads like it was written by robots, for robots. Current accounts, credit reference agencies, proof of address. It's like they're speaking in code, deliberately trying to keep you out. But here's what nobody tells you. The UK financial system isn't actually complicated. It's just hidden, like there's this invisible rule book that everyone else got, except you. What if I told you there are exactly 3 moves that unlock everything? This might surprise you, but the average person who doesn't understand UK banking wastes £3,000 in their first year alone. Overdraft fees they didn't know existed. Credit cards they got rejected for. Deposits they couldn't pay because banks wouldn't trust them. I used to think it was about finding the perfect bank, spent weeks comparing interest rates that barely mattered, while missing the one thing that actually changes everything. Every day you wait isn't just about inconvenience. You're missing out on building the financial reputation that unlocks mortgages, better phone contracts, even job opportunities. Some employers actually check your credit score now. The person who figures this out in month 1 versus month 12, they're living in completely different worlds. So, here's the twist that nobody talks about. UK banking isn't about your money, it's about your data. Banks don't just want to hold your cash, they want to track your behavior, prove you exist, and build a digital fingerprint of your reliability. Once you understand this, everything makes sense. The rejection at Barclays? It wasn't personal. You just hadn't fed the system enough information to trust you. The credit card denial? You were a ghost in their algorithms. But the moment you start speaking their language, doors that seemed permanently locked suddenly swing wide open. Forget everything you think you know about opening bank accounts. We're going to rebuild this from scratch, using the 3 moves that actually matter. Move number 1. Become real in the system. Not just have a bank account, become someone the financial system recognizes and trusts. This sounds crazy, but here's why it works. Start with digital banks like Monzo, Starling, or Chase. Not because they're better banks, but because they ask different questions. Traditional banks want proof you already exist in their world. Digital banks want proof you exist in the real world. Massive difference. You'll need your passport, your visa or BRP, and here's the secret weapon everyone misses. Any official letter with your address. Doesn't matter if it's council tax, university enrollment, even a job offer letter. What no one tells you is this. The proof of address isn't really about your address. It's about proving someone official recognizes you as a real person living where you say you live. Account open? Excellent. Now for move number 2, master the reputation game. This is where most people think they're done, but actually, they've barely started. Your credit score isn't a number. It's a conversation between institutions about whether you can be trusted. I used to think credit scores were this mysterious thing that happened to other people. What I discovered is they're actually incredibly simple to influence, once you know the game. And right now, they're not talking about you at all. First, get on the electoral register if you're eligible. This isn't about voting, it's about becoming findable in official databases. 1 click, massive credibility boost. Second, put bills in your name. Not your flatmates, not your landlord's, yours. Utility bills, council tax, anything official that proves you pay things on time. Third, get a credit builder card. It sounds crazy, but you need to borrow money to prove you don't need to borrow money. Here's where the magic happens. Every payment you make on time sends a signal. Every month you keep bills current builds your reputation, and these signals start compounding. Month 1, you exist in the system. Month 3, you're reliable. Month 6, you're trustworthy. Month 12, you're invisible to them in the best possible way. Everything just works. This changes everything because suddenly you're not fighting the system anymore. You are the system. Banks start competing for you instead of making you beg them. What no one tells you is this. The UK financial system rewards consistency above everything else. Not wealth, not connections, just boring, predictable reliability. Here is your final move. Play infinite games. This is about thinking beyond just getting by to actually optimizing your position for the long term. Most people treat their bank account like a checking account. Deposit salary, pay bills, whatever's left disappears. But the people who really understand the system, they treat it like a strategic dashboard. Set up standing orders for everything predictable. Not because you have to, but because it creates a pattern machines can read. Direct debits for rent, utilities, credit card payments. This might surprise you, but machines love predictable people. And in the UK financial system, what machines love, humans approve. Monitor everything religiously. Check your credit report monthly. It's free through all 3 agencies. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're now playing a game where information is power. 6 months ago, I was that person outside Barclays, feeling like the system was designed to exclude me. Banks treated me like a risk. Landlords questioned my applications. Phone companies demanded massive deposits. Today, I get mortgage offers in the mail. Credit card companies compete for my business. My rental applications get approved before I finish the viewing. It's not because I became wealthy. It's because I learned to speak the language the system understands. I transformed from an outsider begging for access into someone the system actively wants to work with. This isn't about gaming anything, it's about understanding the rules nobody explains and playing by them intelligently. The truth is, the UK financial system isn't broken, it's just operating on assumptions nobody explains to newcomers. It assumes you already know the rules, already understand the game, already speak the language. But once you do understand, everything that seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Not just banking, renting, buying, building the life you actually want here. What used to feel like fighting an invisible enemy now feels like coming home, because you're not trying to break into the system anymore. You're part of it. So here's your choice. You can keep stumbling through the UK financial maze, hoping eventually you'll figure it out through trial and expensive error. Or you can take the 3 moves I just shared and compress months of confusion into weeks of strategic action. The system isn't going to change to accommodate you. But you can change to master the system. Your future self, the one who gets approved for everything, who never worries about financial credibility, who treats UK banking like the simple tool it actually is, that person is waiting for you to make this decision. What's it going to be?